Do you live in an apartment and think about a pet snake and worried about the size that you can get? Well, don't worry, we've got the perfect solution here for you. I'm David, this is Wally, welcome to DJL Exotics. Kenyan Sand Boas are one of the best snakes you can keep if you're living in a small space. So that's whether you're living in an apartment or flat, or you've got a room in a shared house. And there are several reasons for this. Number one is their size. These guys do not get very large. In actual fact, their maximum size here is Wally, and Wally's only about 2.5 to 3 foot. Males get considerably smaller and also much thinner and can be kept in a 2 foot. Wally here could be kept in a 3 foot if you really wanted to give them maximum space. The next advantage of keeping a Kenyan Sand Boa is their ease of care. These guys are very low maintenance. These guys do not require a lot of maintenance to keep them happy. Other advantage for these guys is that they don't require a particularly challenging setup. Their 2 or 3 foot enclosure can be set up rather basic. You just need a deep layer of substrate and a good heat source, a water bowl and a few decorations on top. However, you can make it more complicated with lots of decorations, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference to these guys. These guys are burrowers, they love to live deep in the substrate, and therefore that is their habitat. If you get that right, they'll be absolutely happy. These guys are also excellent feeders, and keeping that heat perfect will allow them to feed properly. Now these guys are absolutely easy to care for because of that simplicity. So if you're living in a small space, that ease of care makes it easier to maintain. If you've got something such as a chameleon or a bearded dragon, they can actually be quite smelly and quite difficult to look after, and therefore they're not really ideal for smaller spaces. But these guys, their actual requirement doesn't really mean that they're going to go too far outside of their enclosure. You might have to put them in a cleaning box every so often, but that only needs to be a small tiny 9 litre really useful box. The other advantage of these guys is that they are absolutely perfect for busy people. Because they spend most of their time underneath a substrate, they're not particularly great handleable snakes. Therefore, they're not looking to interact with you. They will appreciate you because they will realise that you're the food bringer. They will react to your daily routine, but they're not going to be a snake that you're going to want to get out 2 or 3 times a day like you can with corn snakes or royal pythons. These guys prefer to be left alone, but will interact with you through the enclosure. Now that doesn't mean that you can't handle them. Wally here loves to be handled, but the males tend not to, and other individuals are a little bit more cautious about it. It's all about knowing your individual and what they want. But Wally here still only comes out a couple of times a week, maybe 2-3 times a week. She doesn't like the daily handling that a corn snake likes. So if you're a busy person, they're absolutely perfect. The other thing is that you can time your feeding for when you're most busy, because these guys will need to be left alone for at least 48 hours after feeding. One of the best parts about Kenyan Sand Boas, and something which I love them for against all other snakes, is their unusual behaviour. These guys are burrowers. They live life underneath the surface, poking their head out, waiting for prey to come along. They'll then snap at it with a side strike and bring it down. It's one of the more unique lifestyles of any snake, and something that is truly wondrous to look at. They also are a little bit more slower, a little bit more patient than other snakes. Corn snakes, garters, even house snakes. I love house snakes, as anyone knows, like I like corn snakes. Western hognoses, they're all a lot faster snakes. They all move around, dart around, make sure that people know that they're there. Our hognoses are constantly trying to get attention, our females especially. And that's something to bear in mind, because these guys will live their life quite happily, and they have a unique style. You can see them in the enclosure if you look carefully. I'm actually trying to find them. We have a fun game called Where's Wally, where we ask people to spot if they can see where Wally is in a sand soil substrate, because she blends in so perfectly, and that can be fun as well as handling them. These guys will learn to recognise you and your routines and will respond to them, but they will also live their life absolutely happy in their enclosure. You just need to do that regular maintenance, that once a week clean and that once a week feeding, and they will still be happy. The other advantage of these guys is their temperament. These guys tend not to be very defensive. They tend to be rather relaxed and calm. Females much more so. Males I tend to find are a little bit more fidgety because they're smaller and feel more vulnerable, and therefore they don't like being handled as much. But even so, with good regular handling, they will be absolutely fine. And that calmness makes them one of the best snakes, in my opinion. Because they're absolutely fine. Wally here is just chilled out, just sat on top of me. She knows she'll go back into her enclosure in a bit, after filming's finished. Now, here's a quick reality check. I've said how great these snakes are, but the truth is that no snake is absolutely perfect for everyone. Everyone has their own preferences, their own requirements, their own situation, and it's about doing the proper research to identify the right snake that's for you, not what everyone else recommends. This is just a recommendation, and I've given you a few points in which you can think about whether or not you want to keep a Kenyan Sand Boa, but you might want to keep one of the others. You've got the rosy boa, you've also got house snakes, corn snakes, royal pythons. All have their advantages and disadvantages. It all depends on your situation. However, saying that, if you really want a small snake that has a great temperament, is easy to care for, and will fit in with a busy lifestyle, I can't recommend the Kenyan Sand Boa enough. It is a truly underrated species, and I think it should be one of the most kept pet snakes out there. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Bye for now.